Welcome back. You've made it to the 5th training mission. Today we'll practice with the Hellfire and Stinger missile systems. The AGM-114 Hellfire is a laser-guided anti-tank missile with a maximum range of around 8 kilometers and a minimum range around 500 meters. It homes in on the laser spot placed on a target by your co-pilot/gunner. Provided you keep the spot on the target, the missile will hit, and its shape-charged warhead will defeat almost any armor. The FIM-92, also known as the Air-to-Air Stinger, or ATAS, is your last line of defense against enemy fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters. It is a lightweight infrared missile that homes in on the exhaust plume generated by an aircraft's jet engines, and has a range between 500 meters and 5 kilometers. Since Hellfire and Stinger are guided, you can fire these weapons at targets off the weapon bore sight. However, you will generally want to keep the enemy to the front of your aircraft when launching them. In a moment I will ask you to take off and fly to the firing range and shoot up some targets. The first weapon we shall be practicing with is Hellfire. When we have used up all our Hellfires, we shall hunt out some drone aircraft to test Stinger against. Now, take off and fly to your first ACP. You have control. Now, select Hellfire. Good. Now you will see a broken box appear on the IADS. When the CPG spots a target, you will see the box move to bracket the target. When this happens, there will be a short delay as the Hellfire system locks onto the target. You will know that lock-on is complete when the box turns solid. You can now launch a missile at the target by pulling the trigger. After launch, the missile will guide to the target so long as the CPG keeps it locked up with the laser and the missile can see the laser spot. The laser designator is mounted in the Apache's nose in a turret known as the Target Acquisition and Designation System, or TADS. The TADS turret automatically tracks and designates a locked-on target as it moves. But if you turn away from the target, you'll prevent the Hellfire missile seeker from seeing the laser spot. For this reason, we recommend you keep the aircraft pointed within 30 degrees of the target when you launch. I've just described to you the missile mode known as lock-on before launch, or low-ball. There is another mode you can employ known as lock-on after launch, or low-all. In low-all mode, if you launch a missile before you have a solid lock-on box, the missile will fly, unguided, on a climbing flight path. If you can lock onto a target before the missile reaches it, the missile will pick up the laser spot and begin to guide. By firing without a lock, you can fire missiles from behind cover and then bob up to designate and guide them, a maneuver that limits your time exposed to enemy fire. You'll be coming up to some tank targets on the range shortly. I'll work the TADS. You shoot at targets when we have a lock. You'll notice that if we're too close, within 500 meters of our target, the Hellfire will not fire, since it doesn't have time to properly guide to the target. Hellfire is a standoff weapon, and is best employed at ranges of 1,000 meters or more. Okay, here are the targets. Let's practice with Hellfire. You're now Winchester. You've used up all your Hellfires. Time to move on to the next ACP, where we'll practice Stinger. Now, switch to Stinger. Good. Now you've selected Stinger, you can see a double box in the center of the screen. If you point the box in the general direction of an aerial target, the missile seeker will automatically begin to lock on. You will be able to tell when the missile has locked when the outer box turns from broken to solid. As soon as the missile is locked, you can launch the missile. If you pull the trigger before the missile is locked, it will launch, but fail to guide. We shall be coming up on some aerial targets shortly. Keep your eyes peeled. Got some targets here. Try to take them out with Stinger. You've now launched your Stingers. This mission is now over. Press Escape to quit the mission. If you wish, you can come back into this training mission to practice again.